Welcome back, listeners, for another message from the host. I want to thank you all for hanging in there on this hiatus. It's still going to continue, but it's a much-needed break for Kent and I. Kent's here with me. I want to give a little update on what the show's doing and the projects we're working on. We have a new sponsorship deal with Ghost Patch. You've probably seen me make some posts, and also I've been posting a lot of kick-ass pics of Cowboy Patch and Stars, Rangers, Mavericks, Thin Blue Line. We got a World Cup patch coming. Go to ghostpatch.com. Check out their site. They got patches from all over the country, and they have NFL patches. It's not just Dallas stuff. They're based in Massachusetts. They don't discriminate in what they put out. They have a Austin PD patch with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre character for their Halloween patch. They have a Breaking Bad series for Albuquerque PD, which I heard that the creator of Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan, actually got a hold of some of the patches and loves them. Good on Ghost Patch. They're a good partner. They're a friend of the show, and they're a big supporter of the ATO. And that's what this whole podcast was designed to promote, the Assist the Officer Foundation, because that's what we do, raise money for officers and their families. We have some upcoming episodes. You probably saw that I recorded the great Kevin Navarro and former Dallas DA Judge Susan Hawk. We have 2 counselors that are going to be coming on to talk about EMDR versus accelerated resolution therapy, ART, which is kind of becoming the new go-to with trauma therapies. They're going to break that down and hopefully do it in layman's terms, because I'm not that smart and technical. We have the Sarmiento twins are going to come on. We have Carrollton PD TFO. He's with the ATF. He actually worked on the Aryan Princess case that Scarlett Johansson is actually going to play that character in an upcoming movie. He's going to come on and talk about that CI. We have some good stuff in the works, but we're not releasing any episodes until November. So all the people that have been stopping me in the halls, messaging me, asking when they're coming on, it's going to be the fall, late fall. But I have no date, but it is going to be November. Please bear with us and, just keep promoting the show.
Respect our privacy at this time.
Yeah, respect our privacy. Today's order of business. These messages are to promote and talk about specific events or our missions, and we have on 2 very special guests today. We're going to be promoting the 3rd annual David Clark Health Fair, and I got Carly here. Carly, tell the listener who you are and tell a little about yourself.
Sure. I'm Carly Zoerb. My brother was Officer David Clark. He passed away when he was 33. He was on his way to report to duty. This health fair has just become a mission and a passion for me, because we don't want others to go through a similar experience. So we're looking forward to this year's health fair.
Thank you for doing this. This is going to be the 3rd one, and we're trying to make them bigger and better from the year before. And last year was very successful. We're going to get into the last year's, but we also have another special guest that's here to help us and talk about the very technical side and talk about some risks that some of the listeners may not be aware of. I'm probably not aware of these as well. Russ, introduce yourself.
How's it going? I'm Russ Burnham. I'm the team principal and founder of Frontline Mobile Health, actually an Army-trained physician assistant, retired out of 20 years after being in the Army. And I jokingly say I'm Carly's bag man, because Carly, not being a sworn officer or police officer or firefighter, has done more work to bring awareness to this space than a lot of other people that I've seen. And so, we're just happy here to support Carly and her mission, and it's the right one. So it's in line with what we are, which is to be the platform of choice in public safety, health, and wellness. And the law enforcement community is just grossly underserved when it comes to other public safety professionals in this space. And so we're here to support Carly and the mission, and it's a great mission.
Yeah, Kid's my bag man. So
Lots of bags.
Yeah, I got a lot of bags to hide. No, Russ, I actually went through Frontline's full panel, and you told me what I had wrong that I had no idea. sonogrammed all your organs, and I do mean all of your organs. And you did all the blood work. You put me through the. I was on a bike for several minutes, which I think that I'm a pretty in shape guy, but I was not, and I thought I was going to fall off that bike. But either that is invaluable, and I have to say Fort Worth PD is very lucky. Fort Worth PD and Fire they've been working with y'all for a while, and Dallas PD should be very jealous that we do not have you as a resource like other PDs and agencies have you, because it's invaluable. So Carly, you mentioned your brother. Can you tell the listener about David?
Sure. Dave was with the Dallas Police Department for 12 years. He was only 33 when this heart attack happened. And it came as a shock to us because you look at him, he looked totally healthy. He was a gym rat. He helped me with my workouts. He was into meal prepping. And if he didn't have time to meal prep, he would order from a meal prepping company. He loved his job and friends and family and his dogs. He loved shooting and building guns. Dave was an organ donor. So 2 ladies can now see because of him, which is awesome.
No, Dave was a big dude. He was very fit. Anybody that I'm going to be posting pics today, and when he is, and that's the thing about heart disease, that it is it's called a silent killer for a reason. We actually lost one of our Dallas officers. We lost several officers to this disease. Joey Fox, who was the poster child for SWAT, and he was fitness defined, just like Dave. But you never know what the machine has going on that nobody sees, that he could not even be aware of. So that's why getting out in front of this disease and I just heard this week that cardiovascular disease is the number 1 killer for police. Number 2 is suicide, and 3 is actual job.
And I know, from just researching on my own, your chances of facing these health issues significantly increases when you're around 30 years old. Imagine the combination of the stress levels you have, the shifts you're working, and the meals you hit or miss, especially working different late shifts.
Yeah, and Russ, you could probably attest to sleep being one of the number 1 culprits in officers' overall health declining. I think diet.
100%. I think it's a risk of public safety professionals in general, but there are so many times where we'll see somebody for their annual physical, and you can track their sleep by asking subjective measures, and you'll see one year from the next, you'll see an officer that was doing really well, and then all of a sudden the next year, man, your sleep's really taking a dive. And sometimes it's related to the job. Sometimes well, my wife just had twins. Yeah, you're not sleeping. You also moved from days to nights, and that's just hard on the body. Or you were on nights and you moved to days. Or a lot of times we'll see people sleep. Talk about the job as you're on patrol, and then you get a 40-hour a week, Monday through Friday job, and see how much better. I've had a lot of guys that to actually start looking younger after they've gotten off the line, working those shift work. You come back to a kind of a normal person schedule, working in some of those bureau shops and things like that. It's a huge, profound effector, and we actually think that sleep affects all mental resilience and physical too. It's kind of the one unifying thing that nobody wants to talk about. It's easy to kick, and it's hard to have good sleep habits, and shift work just really screws with that. So you are absolutely true that sleep's a challenge for any public safety professional.
Yeah, I struggle with it. I mean, everybody says, "Oh, I got 8 to 9 hours." That's what they recommend, 8 hours. What the hell? I haven't had that in years. 8 hours sleep.
I think when I told you, I said, "Hey, man, if we can get you 5 hours of sleep, that'd be pretty good, right?" Of consistent sleep.
Yeah, you were on to me about my kidneys as well as my sleep.
Well, more and more studies are coming out saying that sleep is almost more important than diet and exercise. And I talked with Danny about it, and he's the again a poster child for health, right? The guy eats clean as can be and exercises like nobody's business when he's healthy. But he said the focus should be on your sleep first and then your diet and exercise second. And I think we are very, very prone to give up sleep in exchange for caffeine and whatever else we can get to run our bodies, especially in this job because of the hours that we work and the shift change and being on call and things like that.
Yeah, when then like well, Carly touched on it when it comes to the diet, and a lot of officers we eat out of convenience, like they work deep nights and they go through a Jack in the Box drive-through because that's the only thing open. They go to Denny's or eat something, eat just crap from the car because they have to go call to call. It's and then they throw a couple monsters in there, or the red line, then they're taking 5-hour energy on top of that. It all adds up, and it can. It's once you start getting into a habit of going on little sleep, you get used to it. Mm-hmm. But over a long period of time, your body will start falling apart.
Yeah, there's a famous book that talks about the body keeps score.
Yeah,
and
that's a good book.
In trauma, but also just from the long-term effects of poor sleep. It's now we have phones and screens, and sleep hygiene is just garbage for a lot of folks. But yeah, it kind of is a. I remember when we came back from Afghanistan the first time, I had a soldier who was struggling with some pretty significant PTSD, went to see the psychiatrist, and he remembered relaying it to me. He's like, she was this like 76-year-old little lady that was like 5'2" and weighed 101 pounds, talking to this guy that probably looked like Dave and Fox that you're referring to. I mean, big burly of a man, the guy you want on the line with you.
Yeah, you want to fight with you.
And he's seeing this little psychiatrist, and the first thing she told him is she said, hey, before we do anything else, we're gonna fix your sleep. We're gonna get you to sleep, which he just couldn't do. Like, that was the first kind of treatment option, was just like, hey, before we get into anything else, let's start there. And that's a pretty powerful tact. And the thing we talk about, like Dave and the other officer you're referring to, these people look the part, and you say silent killer, things like that, we also be like, can Carly tell us, well, what was Dave's sleep like? You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. Is it association doesn't necessarily mean causation, but we could probably have a whole podcast on.
Oh yeah, I think we should.
Sure.
Carly, so we're here to talk about the David Clark Health Fair. Tell the listener how that started, why it became. Well, we know why your mission and passion changed and why you want to do this. But can you tell us about how that got started? And I went to the first one you had over the DPA, and I was at the second one, and I'm obviously going to be involved in the third because I want to promote it. And I want to get as many officers and families into the door to get tested. But can you talk about how this idea came about and how you got it going?
Sure. I worked with Tony from the DPA.
And
yes, I brought up the idea, and he was all for it. So I just started, I guess, the old-fashioned way, just calling and emailing and looking up contact information of different medical agencies to see if they would be willing to donate their time during the health fair. That's how it all began.
So you started. Putting together an event is not easy. I mean, we do several fundraising events throughout the year for ATO, and I see other people. So you started just calling up people.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's like, hell, it works in politics. People just start cold calling, and you start getting all these texts this time of year. But that's how you do it. You got to reach out, and you have to have the mindset as the worst you're going to hear is no. But when you start talking about health and health of officers and first responders, and there's a lot of organizations like Frontline, they want to be involved. You ask them, they'll come and help you.
And it's amazing to have that support.
Oh yeah, I remember the first one. We had at the Dallas Police Association. There's the big conference room, and we also had some. I think we just had it in the one big room the first year, right? Mm-hmm. And then last year we had expanded out to the bar, and then there's people out on the patio sweating. So it has grown so much from the first to the second.
And hopefully this is a step towards a long-term solution, getting the city or anyone on board to require annual physicals and screenings.
Yeah, it's important. So I know that there were 8 officers from last year's health fair. Based on the testing that they had that day, they were told that day, hey, you need to go see a cardiologist. So that's 8 lives right there that were at least made aware you might have a problem. You may have a problem. You need to have it looked at, because otherwise they wouldn't have known.
And I think the big thing from year 1 to year 2 was year 1 was very kind of Dallas centric, but year 2 we saw a lot of the surrounding organizations like Allen PD and Plano. And again, as the big brother on the east side of the Metroplex, that's kind of the burden you all bear. But it's working, and it's for the betterment of law enforcement in general. And so I would expect to see even more the third year from those surrounding organizations, which I think is what makes it even more powerful. That's
why I wanted to do this message. Kent knows this, I had no intentions of putting out any recordings until November, but I'm in the wellness unit, and I appreciate Carly and what she does and her passion. And Russ, I know firsthand from the you checking out the body's engine of how in depth that your organization goes, and I saw the amount of people that came out last year, and people were having fun, but people were also there for a reason to get their body looked at. And we just having 8 people hearing that was all right. Hell, if we'd had one person, that'd have been a success. But yeah, I believe in it, and that's why I think it's important I wanted to try to use this platform to get more people listening and made aware of it, and that we're going to have it, what to expect, and where the roots came from with Carly. And, she turned a tragedy into hopefully something good to save other lives, and it's commendable.
Thank you.
Can you tell us some of the screenings that actually take place and some of your partners that help you out there?
Sure, I can take on some of the health screenings if you want, and then Carly can talk about some of the other partners.
Perfect.
If you guys are good with that.
Yeah.
So I think, as you and Joe were alluding to, is a lot of this revolves around probably 2 primary things, but there's a third thing that's down in there. So one, cardiovascular disease, talking about 2 of the examples this morning. And so bringing awareness to that and what is out there. So, based on what Carly's told me, there'll be ability to have certain blood labs checked on site, the ability to have ultrasounds of your carotid arteries and things like that, looking for plaque and atherosclerosis. And then in some other things called, cardiopulmonary exercise tests, which we probably really should help your listeners kind of understand, like why that's a kind of the gold standard for,
let us know.
Yeah, for testing. And so, bottom line is that, to your point, Joe, look, cardiovascular disease is still the number 1 killer worldwide, men and women, whether you're a cop or not, followed closely by cancer. And then in 2021, for the first time ever, suicide made it into the top 10 killers as reported by the CDC. And that continues to move up and up and up the chain. So when you talk about risk, hey, look, if we're talking about health, the first thing we could try to go after, and probably the one that's more easy to address, is cardiovascular risk, because you can do that with a lot of things: diet, exercise, medication, behavioral changes. Cancer is a little bit harder, you know what I mean? But if you actually look at a new study that came out by the Mayo Clinic in September of last year, they actually looked at VO2 max, and you guys might know as cardiorespiratory fitness, was actually the largest predictor of non-cardiovascular death. So they did a cohort of around 13,000 patients through all the Mayo clinics across the country. They followed patients for 12 plus or minus 5 years. And the interesting part about that study is that it's the same protocol you went through, Joe, same equipment that you went on. So there's kind of an apples to apples comparison. And they actually found if they just watched what people died from over that period of time, they died of cancer twice as often as they died of cardiovascular disease as compared to their cardiorespiratory fitness. So really, your cardiovascular health actually has a lot of other implications beyond just heart attack and stroke. Why people that, have to go inpatient to psychiatric wards for treatment is a lot of times exercise is a prescribed modality because it's important. The body wants to move. It feels better when it does. And so, diet, exercise, all those things affect kind of those 3 big pillars. But I think that Carly's got a lot of great resources that are going to be there. But I think everybody's trying to get after some of those risk factors.
We have a Warrior Spirit Project. They're putting on a yoga class, which will be available to sign up via QR code on our flyer and our website. And we also have the DPT Wellness Unit working with Legends Fit to go over different demos and testing that is available for officers.
Yeah, I think Massey's going to be demoing some the rowers out there. We're gonna drag one of the rowers out there, and the Great Legends Fit is longtime police supporters, and Carly, you need to go out to that gym and check it out. They're really good people, and you walk in that gym, it's a first responder gym. But we're going to make sure that Massey's shirtless for that rowing demo.
Yeah, we were planning to do a couple of rowing competitions as well.
I won't be a part of that, but I'll watch. So you got Baylor Scott and White Health. They're going to be out there. Russ and Frontline Mobile Health, they're going to be out there. And I was looking at your screenings over here, Carly. You had noted they're going to have cardiopulmonary exercise testing, thyroid ultrasounds. Are we doing that out there? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Body composition analysis, vision screening. I don't even want to know what my eyes are so bad. EKGs, blood pressure checks. Bring your car up. We'll check the tires. I'm just kidding.
That's right.
We have glucose checks, diabetes screening, preventable care guidance, primary care physician, carotid artery ultrasound. I know when I went through the frontline panel, I mean, you did do an ultrasound of the testes. We are not doing that out there for anybody. So yeah,
No, that's a hands-on check this time around.
yeah, yes,
Right.
But
Also, Senior Corporal Massey.
yeah, Massey will be volunteering for that.
I do have a question about that. The cardiopulmonary, the body screening, vision, EKGs, all that stuff is kind of common sense. What's the deal with the thyroid ultrasounds? Why is that important?
Sure. So, it's interesting here in Texas, there's presumptive workers' compensation laws for cardiovascular disease for public safety professionals, which include cops and firefighters and peace officers. There's some new mental wellness legislation out there, but firefighters have cancer legislation. That means if you're a firefighter in Texas and you get one of the 10 presumptive cancers, it's basically a workers' compensation claim without delay. Now, what we see is that police officers seem to get cancer and this is anecdotally, right? So we have about 1,700 police officers that come through our program annually now in Texas. And if you look at that subset, we still find cancers in police officers just as often as we're finding them in firefighters: renal cell carcinomas, testicular cancer, bladder cancer, thyroid cancer. And thyroid just seems to be the one that's probably the one we see the most. And it's usually the one that, again, if you can find early, it's readily treatable. And again, in a health fair setting where, you don't have 45 minutes to scan the whole person, thyroid is a really good one to bring some awareness to. And hyper or hypothyroidism are also things that can affect your kind of overall health and well-being and metabolic activity. So it's just a good place to start. And it's just one that we see the most return on investment for screening and getting people to see an ear, nose, and throat. And there's a great ear, nose, and throat doctor here in Dallas that we send actually almost all of our patients to, even on the west side of the Metroplex at UT Southwestern. So just a high-value target, and we see it in cops just as much as we see it in firefighters.
Yeah, I'm looking here at the lineup. We got Trident Elite Healthcare. I know that this is a former Navy SEAL that he and his wife run this business. I just met them recently at Legends Fit at a hero fair we had. So this is their first one. They're going to come to Precision Cardiac and Vascular Care. Were they there last year? Okay. We had so many people, but I think we have more now, right? This year, Carly?
Probably about the same.
Okay. We have different people though coming in.
Yeah.
Okay. Sigma Tactical Wellness. We got Icon Mills is going to be there. NAMI's going to be there. NAMI in North Texas. You mentioned the Warrior Spirit Project. We actually have that. They come out one Saturday a month, and it's free on Saturdays mornings here at the headquarters for tactical yoga and breathing. And it was started by a retired Vietnam veteran. And they're all veterans. They run it, and it's free of charge for people out there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We got orthodontics coming. We have my great friend, Sergeant Greg Garcia, and his protein ice cream bars, the Proletas. That guy, man, he's everywhere.
And I had one of those the other day, the cherry limeade.
Oh no! I had
It was
I
amazing.
like the key lime pie one. That's my favorite.
That is my favorite, but that cherry limeade's like a limited edition, and I told him like it doesn't need to be limited edition. Go ahead and keep pumping that one out, Greg.
No, Greg and I've been friends since he was a rookie, and his protein bars they're really really good, especially with these gym rats. I'm trying to get Legends Fit to get them in their gym as well, and they'll be used. The Parker University is going to come out. They got complimentary 5-minute massages. Miss Fit, do you know what that?
She's going over education information on fitness and nutrition.
Okay, awesome. CJ Counseling is going to be there. The Help for Heroes. And they're going to have information on behavioral health programs specific to first responders, including bailability. They're going to have real-time answers. They're going to be able to educate people. A lot of this is education, but also we're going to have testing. But some of it's just going to be to educate, at least put something in the back of your mind going, oh, hey, we want people to walk away with something they didn't walk in with. Nuvo, what? Oh yeah, they're the firefighter. Yeah, they're going to
vitamin
do the
shots,
vitamin.
yes.
Yeah, they're going to have vitamin B12 injections, the Toradol injections. I'm going to do that again. I did it last year, and it was I enjoyed that. Who else is Pro Team's going to be there, and Tee Off Your Health? Were they at the first one too?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. They've been a partner since the beginning.
And Patriot Paws as well. I just got the update.
Awesome. Yeah, so Patriot Paws, that organization has grown by leaps and bounds. I met them in 2021, and I toured their facility. Actually, I saw one of their, they provide service dogs to veterans. Now they're getting into the first responder world, and they're giving actually now facility dogs. There's a wait list. So everybody knows the story of our Greyhound Aussie, the therapy dog. He had to be medically retired. We are now on the wait list to get a service dog from Patriot Paws. It's like a 6-month wait list, but I'm going to be getting another Patriot Paws dog, and they raise these dogs from pups to be service dogs. So they're really great organization. I'm glad that they're going to come out. So we're trying to just provide a one-stop shop for as much education, testing for our officers and their families. So Carly, can you tell us like when they show up on Saturday, the 21st, at the Bill Priest Center, which is right down the road from police headquarters and DPA, what can they expect? Like, who gets the service, and is there a cost?
When officers or firefighters show up, they'll just visit all the booths and talk to the vendors and participate in the screenings. The majority of the screenings are provided or sponsored by the vendors, and there are a couple of services, I believe the shockwave treatment and one or two others that you can use your HSA card or insurance, like the vitamin shots, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember the vitamin shots it is a fee, but it's not overly costly either. So.
And then also, you'll be provided with a health passport, which is just for your information and just for you to keep tabs on your results. So if you need the follow-up personally after the health fair, you can.
Okay. Yeah, we just want to. This is all about education and awareness, right, Russ? I mean, it's and Carly. This is what this is for. We want this to grow. We want September 21st, just next month. It starts at 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the Bill Priest College, we've actually outgrown the Dallas Police Association. We found out last year we didn't want people sitting out in the heat and sweating. I went out there too and hung out with them. I had to leave, but go back in the AC. So the Bill Priest Center is literally right down the road from Dallas Police Headquarters. It is 1402 Corinth Street in Dallas. It's literally right down the road. It's a big facility. The parking won't be a problem. We just want to have everybody inside, and also we're going to have the equine therapy. Are they coming?
I have not got or received confirmation yet.
Okay. Well, I'll get to work on them. It's they said they were going to come out, so hopefully they're going to come out and give demonstrations on the equine therapy and what they provide. But yeah, and hopefully some other vendors we get the word out, and for the fourth one, we want it to be bigger than the third one.
Sure,
That's always the
that
goal.
would be awesome.
Yeah, to get bigger and better. So last year we had several officers that had medical emergencies, both civilians and civilian employees as well as sworn, that did make the news. They were taken to the hospital, and not many people know about them on the department. The wellness unit knows because we get notified whenever these happen. Well, we lost an officer last year. Actually, we're recording today, and this episode is going to be released today. It's August 20th. Last year, on August 20th, we lost one of our officers, Jose De La Rocha, badge 9662. He had a medical emergency at home, and he passed away. I mean, I'll be honest, generally sweet and kind man. He was survived by his wife and the young son, and there's another example of why this health fair is so important and why getting this message out is so crucial to this profession, and and just everybody. We got one shot at life, and we just try to maximize it as much as we can with our health and taking care of ourselves.
And wasn't there another officer last summer who was about ready to retire, was like weeks away from retiring after 35 or 8 years on the job, and unfortunately had a medical emergency prior to? Yeah,
he left an extra job and he was heading home.
Yeah,
and he felt it's in. There's been we had a civilian employee pass away this year, early in the year, out here at headquarters. Mm-hmm. Was out on a break outside by the loading dock and fell out. And there is also many other medical emergencies that were really out of the ordinary, really, mm-hmm. that people have had to be transported while on duty and while off duty. It's been really strange. That there's a lot going on, but health fairs like this, they're designed. We want to push these to get people out there to find these hidden villains within our body. Sure. And there's a lot of things that we cannot. There's a lot of diseases out there that we can't do preemptive strikes on, but some of these things, a lot of them, we can.
Yeah, I would tell you that. Specifically, it sounds like a lot of them are cardiovascular in nature, which we already have stated is the number one all-cause killer, no matter whether you're a man or woman or a cop or not. But, some of the lab tests, for awareness on the, for the listeners is that, things like, a resting EKG really has less than a 50% pretest probability for predicting a heart attack, meaning if you see it on a resting EKG, something's really going on, right? That's why, doing full functional testing like a cardiopulmonary exercise test, looking at additional labs that aren't in normal people physicals like lipoprotein a, which is almost like a genetic marker for how sticky your LDL particles can be inside the heart, ApoB, which is or lipoprotein, apolipoprotein B, which is sort of even a better marker of cardiovascular risk than LDL and HDL and things like that. So, these are the things that if we're not being aggressive looking for, people aren't going to see them, and we'll continue to kind of see these. And so I think that, there's an opportunity, as you were saying, like you want to create awareness. I'd argue that awareness creates opportunity. And so if you mentioned those 8 officers last year that were made aware of something, they at least had an opportunity to do something about it. And then, we kind of get into the law enforcement question of policy, like, well, is it the carrot or the stick? Is it that we want you to live a long time, so we just keep putting this platter in front of you, asking you to eat off of it? Or do we say, hey, look, your job is high enough risk and you carry more than the general population, so do we put policy in place to actually make sure you're getting the information, not just, hey, well, if you want to go. I mean, I'd still say even though the participation was greater in year 2 than year 1, it was a small fraction of the Dallas PD that was there, considering how large the organization is, or just take the larger law enforcement community in the Metroplex. I mean, we're talking less than 1/10% still, so there's a lot of work to do.
And just a reminder, the health fairs for all active first responders, all the DFW local departments. As soon as I finalize the flyer, I plan on sending it out to all the local departments.
Yeah, and we have a lot of listeners that are us. I mean, in the Metroplex, I was just chatting with an Arlington PD officer last night, telling them, hey, we got this going. I'm actually going to release a message about this and listen. So, yeah, all are welcome. Come out, partake in the services and the test, and at the very least, you may network and have fun. I really would want to stress that I want other police and fire to come out and get involved with this. And also, if you got some people, you got some vendors out there that you may know that your department's worked with, that you think they may want to get involved with this, bring them out, tell them about it, and get them in touch with Carly. Carly has worked her ass off putting this together.
What is the best way for somebody to contact you if they do have that information?
I have a QR code on the flyers. On our website, we have a Facebook page called the DC Superhero Health.
Yeah, I'll be posting the flyer as well, and it's got the QR code. Or if anybody they want to reach out to me, I will get them in touch with Carly. I kind of know her now, so I have no problem passing along any message to her to make this fair, bigger and better, because it's about saving lives, right? Well, I think we're going to wrap this up. I want to thank Carly. Thank you for your mission and doing this. I've been doing this show and being part of this wellness unit in the position I'm in. I've been able to meet some amazing people. And I knew, David, thank you for doing this for us. Thank you for starting this up. And Russ, you've put me through your gauntlet of testing, and I appreciate it. And man, I found out a lot about myself that I didn't know about, and I have actually since taken steps to stay more hydrated, not drink as many energy drinks. So thank you. Carly, I'm going to leave the floor to you to kind of wrap this up. Is there anything you want to leave the listener with?
Just your health is important. It's your wealth. And we hope to see you at the health fair on September 21st at the Bill Priest College. And take care.
Perfect way to wrap it up. Thank you so much. Bye, folks. I will see you again in November.
Hey sister, I'll never give up on you. Hey Mrs., hey mister, I'll see this all the way through. No matter how far the sun and the moon, I'll never give up on you. When you're lonely, I'll pull you up. Life leaves you heavy when the going gets tough. I'll be your shoulder. Together we'll run up from the bottom. Yeah, we'll rise above. Hey brother, hey sister, I'll never give up on you. Hey Mrs., hey mister, I'll see this all the way through. No matter how far the sun and the moon, I'll sister, I'll never give up on you. Hey Mrs., hey mister, I'll see this all the way through. No matter how far, for the gold and the blue, I'll never give up on you.